I'll start now.
We'll do this, David, and we'll make it work. All right. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. It's Bastille Day. Vive la France. Spoken World Online, week number 328. And the online arm of Spoken Word Paris. I'm going to start with a poem by Lawrence Ferlinghetti. And this is a broadside published in 1977. It was part of a artist campaign for Breitenbach, Afrikaner poet who was imprisoned in South Africa for his activism uh, in opposition to apartheid. And this poem is called White on White. Today I will write white on white, wear nothing but white, drink nothing but white, eat nothing but white. And I would be that sea creature who eats light, straining the ocean for its phosphorus, for present time in a white dot space, and white is the sand in the hourglass. Running out, white dunes of Africa, running through it, snows of Siberia, sifting through it. The sea's white with sperm under the white moon, where aluminum stars wheel about noiselessly over quivering meat wheel earth with its white whales, white phagocytes, white bleached skulls, and albino animals, blacks bleached out into white man, and to dream of white sitting string, white string, a symbol of innocence through the color of, though the color of death is white and the world checkered with death, white on black and black on white, dumb pawns in black and white kingdoms, slowly shaking its gossamer wings. A white horse comes from a torn village. Everywhere around the earth, on station platform, they are still putting up the placards. No passeran. Go back. Wrong way. White searchlights search the sky. The gun turrets turn on the old walls. The angel slowly moves its wings, breathing the light white air. The earth breathes and trembles with it. The governed will be governed. Liberty is not freedom. Eros versus civilization. No way without a pass. It is snowing white documents. The very rich get richer still. A white gloved hand still reaches out the window for the money in the cup. Liberty is not free. Some poor still ride the trains. The angel stands on the edge of the station platform, slowly moving its large white wings, which look too fragile to lift the body of being, which still breathes the anarchist air. And the train made of nothing but boxcars jammed with 3 billion people, trembling, still standing in the station. And for my second piece today, I'm going to read an excerpt from a very long poem I wrote uh, on scraps of paper and one of many jobs that Dharma Dave has had. It's an excerpt from the Asbestos files. On the 12th floor all day, but never at night. High-rise buildings never have a 13th floor, respecting ancient superstitions. 12 stories above the area known as Happy Valley during the gold rush, where sailors' boarding houses and poor family dwellings were crowded, jumbled in the sand, into the sand and mud, south of the slot. Here diseases breeded, and mice and rats and roaches, and many a 49er, don't forget to mention the fleas, and 50s frontier rover sickened and died, and their ghosts filled the sky, flowing free to heaven, and the stone wheel in the sky turned another notch along the whirling vortex that is San Francisco. Happy Valley was not always very happy. New Yerba Buena Gardens, AIDS, another great world commodity, and in my time, an ongoing plague epidemic comes howling out of the 1980s, and the marching ghosts of the dead and dying, and those who yet will die, whirling along the streets of San Francisco for all time, on their way to heaven, shell mound of the ancient native tribes who fished and camped along the shore of the cove, and threw the bones and broken beads in a pile, and up the way they buried their dead. Out the window, far below the grimy asphalt of Mission Street, across the way, the stodgy old Transbay terminal, recently locked at night against the hordes of crippled homeless who had been camping there. I remember rushing there one night in the middle 70s. The streets were empty when Dan James and I had stayed too long at the Great Dickens Christmas Fair and missed the evening's last BART train. A big black man named Earl offered to sell us drugs and warned us to be careful on the streets. There were no buses to Martinez, so we called Dan's older brother, Mike, who asked, "Why do I have to get you?" But he did, and led us on youthful adventures with his buddies, Greg of Olympia and Teddy Tim in Alameda. Another occasion, 3.5 years ago, I rushed into the terminal to try and catch Margot Skinner, who I was supposed to accompany on a trip to Sacramento to visit her old dear friend who was about to die of cancer. As my grandmother died, an ugly, painful death many years ago, only recently has my father spoken of it. I found Margot and Fritz Leiber sitting on one of the old, worn wooden benches, Fritz with a cool cigarette burnt down nearly to the nub, held between his index and middle fingers. "Well, I made it." "Fine," Fritz said. "I'm glad you made it, kid," Margot said. Fritz got up, and with a wave and a "so long," he walked out blind into the sun, searching for a cab to take him home. And then the summer of 92, after mountain rains and floods, Esther and I arrived back at the Transbay terminal in the middle of the night, me with a busted up ankle. The city eerily shrouded in fog. We took a taxi home through the strangely silent streets. Thank you for putting up with me.